Each assessment should begin with a 5 to 10 minute aerobic warm up. Each assessment should also be completed twice. The Canadian Trunk Forward Flexion Test assesses the hamstring and lower back flexibility. Shoes should be removed for the test. Feet should be placed flat on the box. One hand should be placed over the other and be sure not to lead with one hand. The head should be placed between the arms, and as you reach forward, you should exhale. Reach as far as you can and hold for 2 seconds, making sure your knees do not bend. The YMCA Sit and Reach test assesses hamstring and lower back flexion. This test is intended for sedentary and pregnant populations. A yardstick should be placed on the floor with tape at the 15-inch mark. Shoes should be removed and feet should be placed on the tape 10 to 12 inches apart. Hands should overlap, not leading with one hand, and fingers must touch the yardstick. Exhale as you reach forward, and head should be in between the arms. Knees should not bend. Reach as far as you can and hold for 2 seconds. The chair sit and reach test is intended for older populations and assesses hamstring and lower back flexibility. A chair 17 inches in height should be placed against the wall, and an assistant is needed to hold the ruler. Shoes do not have to be removed, and you should sit at the edge of the chair while keeping the untested leg flat on the floor. Extend one leg with the ankle dorsiflexed, and head should stay aligned with your back. Exhale while reaching forward and hold for 2 seconds. Both legs should be assessed. Hands should be placed one on top of the other. The Thomas test assesses flexibility of the hip flexors. Shoes do not have to be removed. You need an assistant to determine if the straight leg remains in contact with the floor, which is considered flexible, or if the leg raises from the floor, which is considered inflexible. You should lie supine and bring your leg to your chest. Be sure to assess both legs. The Canadian Trunk Forward Flexion test is scored in centimeters. The assessment should be repeated twice, and you should take the best of the 2 scores. I found my score by subtracting 3 centimeters from each value in the table. My score was 33, and I was classified as good. Here's a classification for the Canadian Trunk Forward Flexion test. The YMCA Sit and Reach test is scored in inches. It should be repeated twice, and you should take the best of the 2 scores. My score was 21 inches and was classified as above average. This is a table to classify the YMCA Sit and Reach test. I looked under the section where my age is, and I looked at the section under W for women, and that's where I classified myself. The Thomas test is scored as flexible if the leg not being tested remains on the floor. The leg is scored as inflexible if the leg not being tested does not remain on the floor. For both legs, I was classified as flexible because the leg not being tested remained on the floor when I tested both legs. The chair sit and reach test is scored in inches. The space between the big toe and fingertips is a negative score. If the fingers go past the big toe, it's counted as a positive score. Touching the toes is scored as 0.